The match and Vinny Del Negro edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Download the WynnBET app now or visit WynnBET.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their over/under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. And make sure to download the SGPN app, your home for all of our free picks and podcasts.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy. You're listening to SGP. Wait, hold on. Say it again.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Cheerio.
Top of the morning to you, Kramer. A lot of shows would take off Memorial Day weekend. Not the old Sports Gambling Podcast cranking out content for you. And boy, do we have some sweet content for you. We're going to be joined later by former NBA player and head coach Vinny Del Negro. Fun chatting it up with him. Had a great Jimmy V story in there, getting recruited by Jimmy V. So you want to check that one out. Pretty fun as well. And Ryan, we got the match coming up on Wednesday, kicking off, teeing off.
Amateur golf?
No. Well, I don't know. Is this amateur golf? I guess they're not technically. Are they getting paid for it? I think they are. So this
J.R. Smith was allowed to go back and play amateur golf.
We have to figure this out.
I guess they are getting paid for it.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers playing against Josh Allen and Mahomes at the Wynn Golf Course at the beautiful Wynn in Las Vegas. And of course, if you want to bet on this, you can over at WynnBET. Download that Wynn betting app. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers right now -200 favorite. Allen and Mahomes +165. And of course, get that bet 50, get $200 in free bets.
I was hoping the Wynn would have cleverly given each team a team name, but no.
That would have been fun. Maybe we'll recommend that for next year. Again, bet $50, get $200 in free bets. Head over to WynnBET.com or download that Wynn betting app. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough limit is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Nailed it.
So we have a little bit of data to pull. Aaron Rodgers has been playing the celebrity golf, aka American Century Championship.
I do like
quite
how
a while.
You called it data.
Little data.
No, I don't mean to like that you mispronounce it. Just that we're referring to Aaron Rodgers charity golf scoring his data.
Oh yeah. So dating back to 2005, he was tied for 58th, tied for 32nd, tied for 47th, 43, 46, 43, 39, 35. 2013 hit 22nd, 27th place, 27th place in 2015. So he's been golfing for a while. Josh Allen, not a ton of data on. Patrick Mahomes, been in the game here. Let's see, 2 years he's played. Top 50, top 38. So
Well, pause.
yes,
He does have a golf championship.
really.
He participated in the 8 a.m. Golf Invitational in this year in 2022, hosted by Justin Timberlake and the Wynn Las Vegas. Mahomes, Kelsey, Timberlake, Jimmy Fallon, amongst others, were guests and competed. Mahomes and Kelsey shot 18 under par, defeating Newton, Catherine Newton, and Chase Crawford by one shot. So that's someone who's won a trophy. And Sean, I'm looking at it right now. I think this is at the Wynn.
Well, we do have some other.
AKA, it was at the Wynn Golf Course.
Okay, so
the same Wynn Golf Course that they're going to be playing at.
So Ryan, I came in here with, and that's why I like to start each podcast as a completely open slate. I came in here thinking, okay, just go with the old guys, hammer the old guys. You know, Mahomes and Allen. It's not a young man's game. But now you're telling me I got some course history on Patrick Mahomes. Also, Tom Brady coming off a loss. Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady, they lost to Bryson and Aaron Rodgers. So last year, yes,
Tom Brady is clearly nervous. He released a CGI video of him hitting a hole in one.
Fake, yes.
The week that he's playing in this competition, why would he do that?
I'm rewatching the video of Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers winning the match, and I forgot how weird Aaron Rodgers' hair is with his like sideways mullet thing he's got going on, and Bryson also very weird haircut there. He's giving Tom Brady the hug. Tom Brady has his AirPods in during his match. I don't know what he's doing. You know, the more I think about it, the more I could see some infighting between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
They are different types of weird, you know.
Yes.
Like one's left center, one's left right. They're just both guys are the same guy but different type of guy, and they know their thing. They know what they like.
I'm Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I'm liking this. These are two young guys, big guys with literally nothing to lose. They're playing with house money in the best sense of it. Yeah. At plus 165, man. Why is Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady a minus 200 favorite? We saw Aaron Rodgers in the NFL playoffs, right? When he's a big favorite, he disappoints. Why are we not hammering Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes right now?
Oh, boy, it gets deeper, Sean. Michelle Lee was in the competition that Mahomes won. She's a professional golfer. Yes. Justin Timberlake, we know, is a very good golfer. His dad bought a golf course for his dad, plays a shitload of golf, was in the competition. Now, maybe it's not good taste to win your own charity event.
I mean, it's for charity. But Aaron Rodgers did nail this super long putt to ice it. But I'll say this. I think he could mess this up. Yeah, why are these guys wearing AirPods on the
kids wear AirPods everywhere now. It's weird. Like I'll be in the car, I throw on the music, I look over, the older ones got the AirPods in. Like, what the fuck do you need those for? This music's just fine.
No, I do think if they do win, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers carrying the team, ironically, of Brady. But I'm with you. I like rolling the dice here with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Have you found any sort of prop bets, other side action that we could get down on right now?
I was hoping you would talk for two more. I was really trying to get wow, the Watt brothers were there. JJ Watt, Zach Ertz, is he a good golfer? Pro golfer, Mel Reed, Tim Clark also there. Michael Phelps. CC Sabathia, which, by the way, an amazing. We'll have to have Scott on to tell the story sometime. But Scott told just an amazing AJ Burnett, CC Sabathia story out at dinner Vegas last week when we were out for the.
Yes, he said I am partially responsible for AJ Burnett becoming a Yankee, and I thought he was kidding, and then he proceeded to tell the story, and you're like, all right, maybe there's something there. So we'll have to get Scott back on the show.
Okay,
get him to tell that story.
Kelsey and Mahomes shot a 2-day total of 18 under par.
Now, see the problem is here. Like,
there's
is
handicap.
That actual
yeah,
scoring.
There's
handicapping. What style are they playing? Do we know? Can you go over the specifics of the scoring of the match, Ryan? Because I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be on the dogs.
We've worked that theory out. Now, I had it somewhere. Boom. Here we go. So 12 holes. Which why not play 18? They're playing only 12.
Okay.
That just seemed odd to me. Why are we not doing? They don't have time for 18. Like what are we doing?
Okay. Tom Brady's got to get an early dinner.
Alternate. Of course, you said Brady Rodgers versus Allen Mahomes.
Okay.
Alternate shot match play. What does that mean? Both guys. This is a great format. Which by the both guys drive.
Yes.
Better drive. use their shot. Other guy hits the second shot, then alternate on the way in. I mean, it's still reliant on both guys to make shots.
Yes, one guy can't carry the other guy,
which is probably where you're worried about the Josh Allen thing. But what if Josh Allen just hits bombs, and Patrick Mahomes is hitting a lot of second shots? We can trust his second shot.
Yes.
Now I like this formula. It really comes down to, can Josh Allen hit bombs? I don't know, but that's the scoring. There's not much to it. We have a prop, one prop, nice, which is who will take the first lead, and it's similarly priced to the match.
So I think, now call me crazy, I guess I don't want to lay any odds on this, like, you know, as far as like laying 200, but I do think there's a world, and if you can find this bet where Brady and Rodgers get out to the lead and then fumble it away.
Are they playing with handicaps?
I would assume not.
Okay. I did find, as we're talking here, I found handicap data. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
4.6 for Rodgers, the best of the group.
Okay.
Josh Allen a 9. Brady an 8. And Mahomes a set. So Mahomes 7.7. So the order is Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and then Josh Allen. But
it's pretty close.
Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes is all clumped up right there. Really, it's Aaron Rodgers. Now, could we see Aaron Rodgers get pissed at Tom Brady when he starts fucking up?
That's what I'm saying. We've seen
love this.
Right.
We love this.
We watched that playoff game.
We workshop this shit.
We watch that playoff game. Aaron Rodgers a little out of sync with Devontae Adams. If there's any man that's going to pout when things aren't going his way, when a teammate is letting him down, it is Aaron Rodgers 100%.
Okay, I'm watching video of Patrick Mahomes just at a Topgolf spraying shots.
In a good way? Or
no? Not in a good way, but he's hitting a hybrid. But when he connects, it's like, I mean, he definitely can put some distance behind a drive. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the thing. That
was in 2019.
This Allen Mahomes team, they high variance. However,
give me the price again, Sean.
Huge upside. Plus 165.
I mean, on something like this,
let's go.
Although, does 12 holes probably helps too?
Yeah.
You know, something
because
weird.
if you again, I've played a bunch of golf. I don't know if I've ever beat my dad, but there's been certainly times where the first 9 holes I'm beating him, the first 12 holes I'm beating him. Eventually, as a shitty golfer, your game unravels. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what's the key to being a great golfer? Consistency. That's probably what Aaron Rodgers has. Smaller sample size leads itself to the dog.
All right. So it does say here that Josh Allen and Kevin Mitchell, his Pro-Am partner at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, did miss the cut.
Okay.
That's not great.
Then he's due.
I think the strategy has to be, like, you just got to tell Josh Allen, hit it as far as possible. Like, we got to use your drive every time.
Yes.
That would be the strategy. I feel like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are going to crush them, but I like taking it. I like what we've done here.
I mean, come on.
Form. It's recency. What do we always hear from the Golf Gambling Podcast guys? Current form. Mahomes just lifted a trophy at the Wynn Golf Course. I mean, the course familiarity is a fair point.
No, no one's talking about it. We're the only podcast who figured out he's actually won a tournament already at the Wynn. What more do you want, people? See, Ryan, you're worried. By the way, what are we going to talk about for this?
By the way, well, I was doing my bit where I pretend like I don't have any sweet nuggets, and I had the nugget of all nuggets.
The nugget of all nuggets. All right, we're going to bring on Vinny Del Negro. Before we do that, shout out to Sleeper. Again, love the action on Sleeper. Love the ability to parlay player props. It is
#Legends only.
You can win as much as 2x all the way up to 20x. And the best part is you can get our Sleeper group chat. It's like group chatting with your friends. You probably already have like a group text going, but imagine that where you can just simply hit copy bets, automatically enter the bets, tag me or Kramer in the group chat. Maybe we'll follow your picks. Again, whoever has the biggest win in our Sleeper group chat at the end of the month, throw a bonus $200 your way and a free SGP hoodie. If that wasn't enough, you can also get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Just go to sleeper.com sleeper.com/SGP. That's sleeper.com/SGP. Promo code SGP. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And again, just click that over under game. If you already have the Sleeper app, deposit there and you're good to go. Ryan, summer for me is all about hammering player props and having a sweaty sack. That's right. Sweaty sack summer is here, but you know how you battle sweaty sack? With some micro modal, AKA the new Manscaped boxers. They've spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. I've thrown them on. They are, I don't even know how to describe it. They say breathable. It's almost like, you know, how you've had those hypothetical conversations of like, hey, what if you were a fish and you could go underwater? Imagine if they made gills for your boxers, aka so breathable, and that's what they did with the Manscaped boxers. And they even trademarked it, the jewel pouch. They've trademarked the jewel pouch. So if you're thinking of starting your own boxer company and calling and saying you have a jewel pouch, well, I have some news for you. It's already been taken. So again, trim your hedges with the Lawnmower 4.0 and then rock those new breathable boxers 2.0. I've used them. They just feel super comfortable. Great for whatever you're doing in the summer. Maybe you're actually mowing your lawn before you mow your lawn, if you know what I mean. The micro modal is, again, buttery soft. So good. And you get 20% off and free shipping. Just go to manscaped.com. and use the promo code SGP. You know, once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never go back. I'll see you in the winner's circle with some breathable boxers. Manscaped.com, promo code SGP. Joining us on the line, NBA coach, NBA player, and returning 2021 champ of the American Century Championship Golf Tournament, Vinny Del Negro. Vinny, thanks for coming on the show.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Sean, you forgot to mention Italian League champion as well.
Yes, yeah, you played overseas early on, like in the late '90s. What was that like?
I was drafted by Sacramento. I played a couple years for the Kings, and then I went over to Italy and didn't stay in Sacramento. I could have, but a lot different NBA back then. Money different, situation was different in Sacramento. And I went over to Italy, played a couple years, and I came back and played another 10 in the NBA. Most of my time with San Antonio Spurs. So very lucky, a lot of great teammates, a lot of great coaches, and took those experiences into coaching and the other things in broadcasting and front office and executive work I did in the NBA for years.
Yeah. Now we mentioned you won the American Century Championship Golf Tournament. Now you were actually the first basketball player to win the championship. What was that like? Did you have some nerves there as the tournament closed out?
Sure, there's always nerves, but I think that's the fun part of it. I mean, everybody out there is an athlete, an entertainer, an actor, whatever it is, a musician. So we're all competitive junkies. You know, we all want to, be under the gun, be under the pressure. We've been doing that our whole lives. It's a lot different. My comfort factor in golf is not what it obviously was in basketball, but I enjoy the competition. I enjoy the friendships I've had, the business I've done on the golf course, just so many things. So playing in the American Century Championship for so many years and finally having a chance to win it and win it last year was obviously special with NBC Sports and friends there, along with American Century and the people at Edgewood and the fans. It was just a lot of fun, and I was very fortunate to win it.
Yeah, no, it's a bunch of big names coming back this year. Now you beat out. Who did you beat out that was kind of towards the top in that last day?
The final group was myself and John Schmaltz and Jack Wagner. I beat John Schmaltz in a playoff, and then right in front of us.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Right in front of us was Annika Sorenstam and Tony Romo and Steph Curry. So Marty Fish, Mark Mulder, guys that have won the tournament before. There's a lot of good players, and it's a Stableford, so you're not safe until the last putt goes in. So things can change very quickly in Stableford.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, John Smoltz, there was a quote I read that he said he heard you talking to yourself as kind of a way to hype yourself up or to get your focus as you closed out the tourney.
Yeah, there's little things I did, things I remember my father saying to me, lock in and focus in on each shot. And when I was shooting a basketball or whatever. So, when you're under the gun, you're under the pressure, you go to those things sometimes. And that's kind of what I was trying to do, kind of stay in the moment, stay in the each shot, lock into what I needed to do. And my caddy Dirk did a fantastic job. And, we just were able to bring it home at the end.
Now, what do you think? Two footer to win a tournament, or a free throw to win a game? Which one's more pro?
Free throw, easy.
What now? What do you? I always. I'm a Sixers fan. I was very critical of a former player, Ben Simmons, and his inability to make free throws. It's like a professional basketball player. I play rec league here and there. What am I missing in the modern game where it seems like guards in particular at times, or guys like Ben Simmons that are certainly super successful as players, but are missing out on some fundamentals?
Shooting is something you can always get better at.
Yeah.
Especially in the NBA. You have to put your mind to it. You have to have a discipline about it. You have to work at it every day. I've seen a lot of guys over the years become much better at with shooting coaches and the right instruction, but it all comes down to the player, the mindset, and putting in the time and the effort. It's like anything in life. It's not just going to happen. You're going to have to, work at it. Some things are easier than others. But obviously shooting is something you can definitely get better at. So, and that's like in any sport, anything you're going to do in life, the more you grind it out, the more you put the time and the effort and the mental approach into it, the better chance you have for success.
Now you coached in your coaching days. You coached a lot of big names, including Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Is there a player you coached that was maybe under the radar, or as a coach you saw the work that they put in? You were like, oh man, I wish more people talked about this guy that you coach. Is there a name that comes to mind?
I was very lucky. I had a lot of great people in Chicago when I coached, and then with the Clippers. From Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose and Kirk Heinrich and Lou Aldang, there's several guys. And then in LA, obviously, the Blake Griffins, Jamal Crawford, Matt Barnes, DeAndre Jordans, just tremendous players, tremendous people and hard workers. And they all had great success in the league for a lot of years.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy kind of the list that you, and Derrick Rose, to me, he was always such an exciting player, and it was great to see, he had such injuries early on and was able to overcome them and still become a very productive player, like even later on.
Phenomenal. I mean, I was fortunate that he was rookie of the year with me, along with Blake Griffin with the Clippers. So I had two rookies of the year, two young players, but two dynamic superstar type talents, and both really got, Blake with the knee and then Derrick with different injuries. It's very unfortunate, but early on, Derrick was so explosive, so fast, so easy to coach. Just let him go, do his thing. And I'm just proud of him to battle back and be productive in the league later in his career after his suffering so many injuries and having so many setbacks. So I'm proud of his effort, but it doesn't surprise me knowing the person that he is and the work that he puts into the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he's just one of those guys you always rooted for. All-time favorite. Effort, right? Effort is easy to root for, and I would imagine it's just as easy to coach. And that's the thing. Like maybe almost to a certain point he went too hard, because you just see the way he used to attack the rim and the drive and like that jump step he had going to the hoop. It was just intense, and it was unfortunate he had
was
those
one
injuries.
Of those guys that he made fast guys look slow.
Yeah,
that's how quick. He had that extra gear and that explosiveness to the rim, where guys were aside of him, and then all of a sudden he's by him, 2-3 feet by him, like in a split second. I mean, he had that special gift before the injuries, especially, to have that. So that's a God-given skill. Great kid, great player. Unfortunate injuries, but I'm glad he's been productive later on in his career as well.
Taking a quick break to talk about Athletic Greens. That's why they call me Sean Athletic Greens. I've been hammering that AG1. It's delicious and tastes good. Delicious and tastes good. What more could you ask for? I'll tell you. What about 75? High quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. They got it all. Love starting my day with Athletic Greens and their AG1. Again, it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Tastes great, goes down easy. They have over 7,000 5-star reviews. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/SGP. That's athleticgreens.com/SGP to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. And we're also brought to you by IP Vanish. Make that IP disappear along with your personal information, your browsing history, your passwords. You don't want anyone getting into those. That's why you got to lock them up. Keep them safe and secure so no one can get access to them. We use IP Vanish here at the studio for God's Eye. Highly recommend it. You get 70% off their yearly plan and a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's right, ipvanish.com/SGP to claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. And we're back talking with Vinny Del Negro. Going back to the celebrity golf a little bit, our sponsor, the Wynn, there's going to be that celebrity match: Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady versus Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Now I know you've played against some of these guys in the American Century Championship, so just as like a handicapper, any insight as to who you would make the favorite here, whose game do you really admire? Like any inside tips on Brady, Rodgers versus Allen and Mahomes?
Well, first you're talking about, 4 guys that are kind of must see TV when they're playing football.
Yes.
And they're just unbelievable players. Patrick has played in American Century. Aaron has played in American Century. I played with Aaron before. We all know Tom. We all know what Josh Allen's capable of doing on the football field. But I don't know Josh's game well enough. But I know Aaron's game. I've seen Tom play a little bit in some of these other events. So I'd probably go with consider I'm an older statesman. I'd probably go with the older guys than the younger guys. But I don't know Josh Allen's game. Yeah. So it's hard for me to tell right now. I know Aaron plays a lot of golf and he'll be ready for it. I'm sure Tom is preparing like crazy as he always does for everything. And they'll be ready to go and they'll want to, take down the young guys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure
golf as a secondary sport is not a young man's game. That's an older gentleman's game.
Yeah. Josh Allen, he's still young. He's still probably out there.
Speaking from experience, enjoying
some nightlife. Tom Brady is definitely like in prime golfing age, and Tom Brady and Rodgers, they're like 2-1 favorites. Yeah. Josh Allen, I saw did play, I think American Century once, finished 63rd in 2019.
Well, that's not very good.
But you look at Aaron Rodgers and what he's done. He's been like 24th, 16th, 21st, tied for 18th, 8th place. Like Aaron Rodgers seems pretty dialed in. It's interesting to see these football guys being so good at golf. I guess it's the hand-eye coordination, but to me, I would expect like kickers, baseball players to do well. What do you think?
I think basketball players with the shot. Like I always felt like shooting and golf swing is a lot of that, like kind of like mental correlation to your what you're doing physically. Once you feel good about it, it just kind of happens. When you're not feeling good, you're throwing up bricks. So it is interesting. I'd be curious on your take, being a former basketball player, if you feel like that those mechanics kind of translate.
What's interesting, if you look at the best golfers in all sports, let's say, for example, the best golfers in football are usually quarterbacks, because they have to put the ball in a precise area. The best golfers in hockey, the best, hockey golfers are guys that were scorers. Pitchers, they have to put a ball in precise areas, John Smoltz, for example, or what have you. So basketball, Steph Curry is a fantastic player. Del Curry's a fantastic player. Ray Allen's a fantastic player. So there's a lot of good. Dan Marley's a fantastic player. A lot of great basketball players that are really good golfers. So
some reason it hasn't translated for Charles Barkley though.
yeah. But I tell you, Charles is getting better.
He is getting better. That's what everyone says. They're like, "Hey, Barkley, it was bad. Y'all, everyone's."
He wasn't a shooter though. He wasn't a sharp shooter.
That's true. He's boxing out and getting in the paint there. That is a
good player. He's a good friend. He lives down the street here, and he actually is getting better, and he's been working on it. He loves it. But Charles is Charles, and I love him. So he is getting better, and he comes up to American Century and is fantastic with the fans. So it's great to see him out there. But I don't know, I think really what it is the competitive nature of it. We're all in team sports, basketball, football, baseball, hot team sports, and golf is obviously an individual sport. So you're out there on your own. You can't rely on a pass or a shot or whatever it is. I mean, so I think the competitive mental approach to that, I think, is interesting as well. Who can handle under the gun in those moments when they're not in their comfort zone, like you would be on a basketball court or throwing a baseball or throwing a football or, things like that. So golf is hard. I mean, golf is it's a tough sport. Physically, mentally, just the approach, day in and day out, things that are going well or not. So kind of managing those from a competitive standpoint, I think at times mentally is probably some of the harder parts of it.
Now you mentioned the competition and that, all these guys, a lot of them former athletes, or if they're not, they're certainly at the top of their field, and being super competitive and competition junkies. Off the links, is there any sort of side action going on between the guys, or maybe you're in Tahoe, maybe you and Charles are like, he's like, hey, I got you got me on the golf course, but I'm gonna beat you in poker. Like, what kind of side action goes outside the tourney?
For me, most of it's just with buddies of mine I've played with or against for years. We'll have little side bets on score and what we're gonna do or whatever, and nothing major. But just kind of, it's not even about the wagering. It's about the winning. I mean, it's just about like beating your buddy or beating someone or, you know what I mean? That competitive drive you have. So, that's the fun part for me anyway, is challenging myself under the gun, into the pressure to see if I can handle it. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you make poor shots, and the comfort level you have is not nearly as much as, like I said, shooting a basketball or being in a game and being ready for that, because I did that my whole life.
It's so funny. I know the feeling. Like, maybe I put a couple bucks on this. Just the juices flow a little bit more. It feels like it's like a prime time game.
It's like the fantasy football thing. Yeah, sure, winning a couple $100 is nice, but really beating your friends is the ultimate prize there. Now, you played college basketball at NC State. You got to play for legendary coach Jimmy V. What was it like getting recruited by him and then playing for him?
Well, he was a special guy. I mean, besides the basketball part, he would recite poetry to the team. He was a big English major and just a terrific guy. The recruiting was incredible. Playing for him, the NC State experience was phenomenal. And we had a lot of really good teams there because we always had one of the top recruiting classes because players wanted to go to NC State to play for him. That was the bottom line. And then you go there and the fan base and the ACC and Duke and Carolina being so close together in the Research Triangle area, the competitiveness of that was second to none. So Coach Valvano was special. He still has an impact on people with the V Foundation, which is fantastic, which I've been involved in different areas, which is great. We're actually doing something for him right now. Hopefully I'll finalize it in the next month or so at the Basketball Hall of Fame. We're doing a coach's bench for him, and a lot of former players and friends and colleagues have stepped up, and we're going to do something nice there. So his memory continues. The stories are always there. It was easy for me to play for him because he was very similar to my father and my uncles. I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. So, when he yelled at me and got on me, I knew he was doing it because he thought he saw something in me. He wasn't. And then he would put his arm around me and say, let's go have dinner or come to my office and let's play darts or eat some popcorn while he smokes a cigar or whatever. So, fantastic guy, passed away way too early. The great thing about the V Foundation is years later, in his speech, one of his daughters, Jamie, actually had the same cancer he had, and they were able to cure it 25 years later.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So she's an incredible woman and family, and so a lot of positives with the V Foundation, a lot of positives with Coach Valvano's legacy, and just proud to have played at NC State for him.
And everyone knows the stories, but they still got to ask, as a freshman, first time you walked out to practice cutting down the nets, what was going through your mind?
He actually did that when he was recruiting me. Real quick story was the week before, I thought I was going to go to Kentucky. My dad played for Adolph Rupp, so Kentucky came in the week before, and I was probably going to go to Kentucky. Then he came in, and they were in Nike sweatsuits, and we were in my coach's living room with my parents, and they showed a film of me hitting some shots and winning the tournament, ripping down the nets and all that. And then I was sitting in a chair, and he pulled me out of the chair, and we started wrestling in the living room on the floor in front of everybody.
Really?
Yeah, like celebrating we just won and all that. And then assistant coach Tom Benamarco was there, so he was jumping on top of me. And then Coach Valvano looked to my dad and said, "Hey, I'm hungry. Where are we going to go eat?" So we went down the street to my cousin's Italian restaurant. We had dinner, and all my Italian relatives were there and whatever. And by the end of the dinner, they were like, "You got to go to NC State."
Yeah.
Because Coach Valvano was inviting everybody down for Sunday dinner with his mom and his dad and everybody. So it was just kind of a comfort level and just kind of crazy stories like that. And there's a million of them, but special guy, unfortunate, but tons of stories.
No, yeah,
that's awesome,
and that's such a great story about them being able to cure his daughter's cancer. I mean, you can't watch that speech he gave at the ESPYs and not get chills and get inspired, and it's certainly
that was
awesome.
Him though. Every day I lived that. That was him. You know what I mean? When he got done speaking, you felt like you would run through a wall for him. You know what I mean? Like there was no obstacle, unattainable, no game that wasn't winnable. That was kind of his mental approach. And I think it was because we practiced hard. I mean, he was very, very tough in terms of how we practiced, how we prepared. He was on us a lot. And some guys could take it and some guys couldn't, to be honest with you. So he was just, that was kind of his way, his personality. Your team takes on the coach's personality a lot of times, and that's what we did.
Now, do you think have you considered about going back into coaching at all? Do you miss coaching, or have you? Where are you at with coaching?
I've been out of it for a while. I did it. I love the competition of it. I love the teaching part of it. I love seeing younger players improve. We had a lot of success considering we had very, very young teams in Chicago and LA. They had never done what we did in LA and won the Pacific Division. And do I miss it? Yeah, of course I miss it because that's what I've done my whole life. But I also have gotten into other things in my life, my family, and spent a lot of time with them, which I hadn't been doing for years just because I was so ingrained in what I had to get done. So, I've been spending more time with my wife and my family and, things like that are important to me. Would I go back into it? It would have to be the right situation, from ownership to, president to GM, to go and do it. But I miss that part of it. The game is different. How they play, the rules, just everything is different about it. But some of it I think is much better, and some of it I think they can improve on. And I think they continue to try to work on that to make the game as positive as they can. It's very popular worldwide, as we know. And there's a lot of incredible players in the league right now, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. So getting back, one final question here, talking golf. Do you have a dream foursome in mind? I know you once played around with Arnold Palmer, but like him aside, who would you look in your dream foursome?
Oh, my dream foursome, I've played with a lot of pro guys, but obviously nothing like Arnold Palmer. That was in a spectacular day years ago, and could not have been nicer. I'm actually in my office and I'm looking at some things he signed for me and I have in my office. But, obviously Tiger Woods would be on the top of the list, and obviously Jack Nicklaus would be on the top of the list. Another person, I'd have to think about it, but someone, I really enjoy all the young players playing now, the Scotty Schefflers and the Spieth and the Justin Thomas I love to play with. And I mean, there's so many of them. But you'd be hard pressed to find a foursome that doesn't include, say, Tiger Woods and a Jack Nicklaus. And obviously having already played with Arnold Palmer, that's probably as good as it gets.
Yeah, can't beat that.
I was waiting to hear John Daly, though.
John Daly for the stories.
I've actually played with John Daly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played in the Bob Hope with him years ago, and I played with a ton of guys because I'm a member at a club out here called Whisper Rock.
Oh, okay.
And Whisper Rock has a ton of guys, Max Homa and Rom, and just tons of guys that are out there all the time, and Paul Casey's, and just great guys that are out there all the time. So I've had a chance to play with several of them, and very, very lucky. And But the legends of the game, the Tigers and the Jacks those got to be on probably the top of most people's list, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
Right,
That would be
it'd be too much pressure for me.
Yeah,
I don't want to slice one in front of Tiger.
I don't want to have Tiger Woods go, you call that a drive? What are you doing, my man? Yeah, that would not be good. All right. Well, Vinny, appreciate you calling in, and best of luck in the American Century Championship coming up this summer. So
no problem,
enjoy.
guys. Anytime. Thanks. Good to talk to you.
All right. Take it easy.
Hey, buddy.
Big thanks to new friend of the program, Vinny Del Negro. I have a feeling we're going to be betting on him come American Century Championship, Ryan. Super cool guy, and best of luck for him. And tune into the match and get down on some action over there at WynnBET.com.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
I like the competitive energy he brought. Vinny
Kramer. Let it ride.